We were just chatting about some of the great memories that we have at Dollywood, our experience there. I mean, we laughed.
We cried.
We cried.
We cried, and we cried.
One thing we didn't do was sleep. Because we hung out after the shows. We had such a great time.
And we cried in our sleep. It was just so wonderful.
But we did cry, and the source of some of those tears was something so sweet and wonderful. I was hearing Dolly sing Coat of Many Colors. This song has so much meaning for her. And she shared us what the meaning of it was, but she also included as the title of her NBC movie that told the story of her life. Here's a little bit in her own words of Dolly telling us why that song is such a tribute to her mama.
This little song was just about Mama, she just had a way of trying to make everything seem better than it was. She could just tell you anything and make it sound better, make it sound right. And she sewed all of our clothes, and we used to get these boxes of scraps. And so she told me the story of Joseph from the Bible, because she probably knew it was just a bunch of rags. And so she told me that story to try to make me proud of it. And so it just means so much to me, especially now that Mama's gone. And to see such success come from this song, it's like I've lived a life of many colors, and I've just had so,
And it came from love.
And it came from love from my mama that just tried to love us all and make us all feel special. And I had a wonderful daddy as well.
For Matt.
We were so moved by her story, and of course, after she sang the song, all of us were crying, including the audience. Everybody was so.
This one.
Yeah,
we just got a box of Kleenex here because we know what's coming.
They just brought us this, but Matt, I know that you have some wonderful thoughts about your mom.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, you want to share that with us, please?
Camera. Well, I mean, for you at home, you guys got to understand. It's like I'm surrounded by people like Paige and Debbie and Orly, and it's like we're backstage watching her sing. And I look at Debbie, and Debbie is bawling her eyes out. And then I start thinking about my mom, who, my mom was the greatest source of encouragement I'd ever known. And we ultimately lost her to a long battle with cancer in 2004. So I look at Debbie, and she's crying, and I start thinking about my mom. And my mom, she used to rock me as a baby and sing to me. And there she is right there. And she was the greatest influence of my singing career, and she's the reason why I started singing. So the Queen of Country is singing about her mama. Debbie is crying, and I know what's going through Debbie's mind. I start thinking about my mom. I'm like, oh my God. And I just start freaking bawling, and it was like, thanks for,
Here, Debbie.
Well,
there it is.
Here, Debbie.
I know you needed a makeup touch-up after that.
And you too, sweetheart.
Pass it down.
But it's hard not to reflect on your mom, because I know as much as you're trying to hold back now, there's not a day that goes by that you don't think of her. And when Dolly performed that, it just reminded us all to sort of reflect upon those who brought us up. I know Paige too. It really moved you as well.
It did, and thank God that I'm not in the same boat as you. I did lose my father last year. And my mom has been just such a support. But even when we were little, I think that your mom was singing to you, and you ended up in a singing career. My mom, we didn't have a lot of money, and every Sunday we'd get the paper and we'd cut the coupons together, and that was something that we really enjoyed doing. And then we would go look at model homes, and she encouraged us to dream. She would take us, there's my mama. She would take us and say, pick out a room for you and dream what you might become in this house. And we did that every weekend, and
she influenced you.
Wow.
This is brutal.
Such a wonderful way, and she is still. We were cutting coupons, and now she's my biggest investor with flipping homes. She is my biggest investor, which is so crazy. She didn't have the money.
And your biggest fan. Well, Matt.
So my mom, I was just with my mom this weekend, and we were back at college and with Ken and talking about my dad, and this memory came back where one of the first memories I ever had was a little bird flew into a window in our living room, and it was on the ground injured, and we go out, and we were going to try to help it, and I'm like, Mom, we can't touch the. I'd heard somewhere if a human touches a bird, oh God, then its mom would reject it from the nest.
Oh,
and Mom's like, a mom would never reject her child. Oh my God. And so, like, what is going on here? Look at him crying. Why? And we nurtured this bird back until we released it. It was one of those things where it's like, your parents teach you about love, and nobody did that like my mom.
Well, I think it's a good time for us to go to tape. The camera's off of all of us up here. But this is what Dolly does, and her music really resonates because the theme of it crosses all sorts of boundaries.